What truth have you been avoiding because you're afraid of how it will feel and how they will respond? Hello. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I am Right Over Coffee. Elizabeth Green. Look at that. Isn't that cool? My business cards came in. I'm super excited. Anyway, I'm so excited, guys. Anyway, this is Right Over Coffee. And I'm doing a series and it's called Tough Love and Letting Go When Faith Gets Real. I mean, how many times have we, just been, do we do it? Do we not? Do we question ourselves? Are we going to make the right decisions? Are we doing right? Are we not doing right? And all these things come to play. So welcome to Right Over Coffee. This is a space where we slow down, sit in hard conversations, and finally healing it right in the middle of real life. And today we're talking about something that doesn't get said enough, and that's tough love. So have you ever had to love someone enough to stop rescuing them? Just sit with that for just a second. Have you ever had to love someone enough to stop rescuing them? Because tough love isn't what people think it is. It's not harsh, it's not cold, and it's not walking away without care, right? Tough love is choosing truth even at the cost of you emotionally. And if I'm being honest with you, a lot of us struggle here, not because we don't love people, but because we don't want to feel uncomfortable. Ooh, stop, guys. That big bad word, uncomfortable. So we keep helping, we keep fixing, and we keep stepping in, and slowly helping turns into enabling. So let me ask you something, just real quick. Where in your life are you helping, but deep down, you know it's not actually helping anymore? That's hard to admit, guys. And I'm the first one to tell you. I'm the very first one that will tell you it's not easy to admit. It's not easy to walk through, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like, whoa, wait. So it can be really, really difficult because we tie our identity to being the one who shows up, the one who holds everything together. But sometimes the most loving thing we can do is step back. A friend of mine just recently reminded me of that, is to butt God and to get out of God's way. I had to re-listen to that in my head a few times because I didn't think I was standing in God's way. But let me tell you something, that kind of showed and revealed a little bit. And I was like, man, she's speaking truth. So in an unspoken goodbyes, this is one of those quiet griefs we carry, letting go of the version of someone we hoped would change, not who they are, but who we believe they could be. Proverbs 27:6, faithful are the wounds of a friend. Faithful. That means sometimes love tells the truth even when it hurts. So let me ask you a second question here. What truth have you been avoiding because you're afraid of how it will feel and how they will respond? Guys, that's pretty intense there. I mean, what truth have we been avoiding because we're afraid of how it feels? I mean, don't we all kind of like that whole uncomfortable word? That's a word we don't like to hear. We don't want to hear. We typically just cannot stand the word uncomfortable, which does a whole lot more in a way, because then we're thinking about the truth that we don't want to hear. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to see the ugly and the bad and all of it. I mean, we just don't. It's so hard. It is so hard. And another thing is, here's another truth. We hold on, we overextend, we give more chances because somewhere deep down we're thinking maybe this time will be different. Maybe this time will be a whole lot easier and it clicked. But at some point, love has to include truth, because helping can quietly turn into enabling. That's me, 100%. And enabling doesn't help heal anybody or anyone. It didn't help me. You know, I'm seeing the past of, growing up with a dad who was my mom, my dad, and my best friend. So of course I was spoiled rotten. Still am to this day. But I didn't learn any lessons because he was always bailing me out. So it was hard for me to make that choice with my kids, how I wanted to raise them, what habits I needed to break, what things I needed to change, not only for them, but for me as well, because I have a husband and it wasn't right thinking that I get everything and you get nothing, it just wasn't. And this is where, because helping can quietly turn into enabling, and enabling doesn't heal anyone, like I was saying, it just delays the reality. And here's where guilt will show up. Because the moment you pull back, the moment we set boundaries, you feel like you're the one doing something wrong. And hey, this resonates really good. And if you're a parent, you understand this, because some people will be like, for instance, mine, they'll be like, oh, aren't you a Christian? Don't you show grace? Things like this. I mean, my brother once said, we have a mom, and, there's some things there that the addiction was happening. And, he used my Christian title. I get that. I totally understand where they're coming from. But at the same point, that's on them. That's not on me. Okay. As a Christian, I have healthy boundaries. I have to think about my family. I have to think about other people in the world, not just that one person. And yes, I do show grace and love. And sometimes I have to step back. So that's where the guilt steps in, faithful, not harmful, not hateful, faithful. Just like Proverbs 27:6 said, faithful are the wounds of a friend. Sometimes love tells the truth, even if it stings. So if you're in a place right now where loving someone is costing you your peace, I want you to hear this clearly. Tough love doesn't mean you stopped loving. It means you finally started loving in truth. So you guys, I hope this really resonated with you. Get on my website if you have questions. If we want to talk deeper, I would love to hear from you guys. It's elizabethkgreen.com. This is Right Over Coffee. See you later.